Hey, Travis Daggett with Cornerstone Properties. Got a question from a homeowner about auctions. Specifically, she wanted to know if we would bid on her property at auction. So I thought I'd explain a little bit about auctions and how they work with real estate. And so if you have a property that you're thinking about selling, or there's some specific reason why you're thinking of going towards an auction as a way to sell it, you have more information than you did before. So in this case, unfortunately, it was a contentious divorce. So one person was living in the property and the other person was not, and the person living in the property did not want to move and did not want to sell the house. Both parties were on title. They were previously married. And so for the spouse who wanted to sell to be able to sell and to get their portion of the proceeds, she went before a judge, and the judge's solution was to for the sheriff to auction the property off, and then presumably she'd be able to get her portion. Now, I'm recommending against that. I suppose that could be a last resort, but here's why. Number one, whenever there's somebody living in a property, you may have a rental property that's in this situation, and they are going to be forced to move, or they know they're going to be forced to move. They can tend to not take care of the property at the least, or damage the property at the most. And we've seen properties basically stripped of wiring, plumbing destroyed, just you name it. So anything we can do to avoid that is a good thing. The other challenge is when a property goes to auction, you don't know who's going to buy it, right? So anybody can bid. Someone can purchase it with whom you don't know how they're going to handle it. They could evict you immediately, so you just have very little control there. If nobody bids, which is actually the most common scenario, then the property goes back to the lien holder or whoever has filed the lawsuit. So now you could be back where you started. In the scenario of the divorce, you're back where you started. In the scenario of foreclosure, now the lender has it, and so you're at the mercy of their proceedings. So it's always best to work with both parties as much as possible. So our solution in that scenario that she presented is for us to go to the gentleman living in the property and just let him know the property is scheduled to go to auction, but it doesn't have to go to auction. So if we can show the judge that we have an offer for the property that will give the woman who wants to sell half of the proceeds, and it'll also give him half of the proceeds, and then we can work with him to move, to find another place, whatever he needs help with. We'll help however we can. That's a much better scenario. And most of the time, somebody living there with the property that's going to auction is motivated by assistance in the form of money, maybe a moving truck, finding another place, because they're going to be without a place to live if we just rely on the sheriff evicting them. So it's really in the best interest of everybody to work something out along those lines. An auction is the last resort. It's the last way for a lien holder or the plaintiff to get a property and to get title again. Hope that explains auctions a little bit more. If you're a homeowner, you could be a landlord, have a property in that kind of scenario. If you do, or you have any other questions, feel free to ask away and contact us, and we'll help any way we can. Thanks. Travis Daggett with Cornerstone Properties.